10 years of civil war has turned a land of peace and tolerance, a land rich in natural resources, the Athens of West Africa, into the poorest nation on earth. As the war progressively translated into total anarchy and breakdown of civil society, every form of life in Sierra Leone decayed to its lowest ebb. Thousands of boys and girls, some as young as 8 years old, were abducted and conscripted into various factions of rebel army. Some were used as sex slaves by rebel commanders. Others became human shields against government forces. They were coerced to take drugs to desensitize and convert them into murderers. The use of primitive base amputations have left thousands of otherwise able-bodied men, women, and children hopelessly maimed for the rest of their lives. The Civil War was declared officially over in January 2002, but the wounds are still fresh and the scars may remain forever.
We were in the bushes here for a good number of days, and when they passed by, then we came back and gathered the remains which they left behind. But with some of us, like myself, all of my certificates were burnt down. I have my TC, teacher's certificate. I have my BT. All of this are burnt down, and they will never be replaced again. Yes.
How long did they occupy this place?
Well, they were here for a little over a month.
Oh, that's all?
Yes, 1 month. So you can just imagine the kind of people we are talking about. That's good. So actually we're in difficulty. Then there another 10.
So it's one like, I was correct to say 20 on the average.
So someone stays here, what about over here?
Yeah, there's another room.
2 rooms.
Another.
Probably a bathroom, I guess, I don't know.
But we are going to give them the beds as soon as we
Storage or something.
we just lay them then. We have not given them the... We had beds before, but the beds were not as good as these ones which you have provided. In fact, we did not have floor for them. We used local sticks, and we used local mattresses, grass, made up of grass. But now we can boast of having well-structured beds with foams, as you can see.
Yeah, nice.
Here. So really this is very, very great.
4 inches.
That one there is a toilet, please.
That's okay, I'm in the shade. I'll smell it.
Okay, as you can see, even the toilets had doors, but they were removed.
Yeah.
They are all been removed.
Stolen?
And yes, stolen. Mind you, the rebels made their base here. When they were within this area, this was their base. They made this area their training ground. And that's why you can see that the destruction made is so great. Each section that you see here could be used for 2 people, 2 married people.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 apartments. Okay, when the rebels came with Boston, this part fell off, but I came to make sure that the roof doesn't kind of new environment. That is the light roof. We will get the outer, places covered, then they could be in here with this kind of thing. Because this thing also needs frame, as it needs door. Then even here, we need a frame and door. But since we are limited financially, we are getting the outside down, then they could be in here.
The worship service and the mother church. Alright? When I want to left, and you're not going to go on time.
Alright, so I want to say hello again to him. We are now managing the school on his behalf. Maybe on his arrival, he's going to come here again. I want to say that we have 17 married students with their kids, they are here. Then we have 5 others who are yet to get married, but not now for now. So 17 married, then 5 single.
We're having shelves, and then they put down all the shelves, scattered all the books. Then very few. We only have very few books now.
So are you welcoming more books?
Yes, yes. We need more books. We need more books
And
because
is it curriculum, is it taught in English primarily?
yes, in English, yes.
In English?
English, yeah.
Okay.
There's
212 churches and only 86 pastors currently, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we need pastors.
Yes.
Bad.
Great need for pastors.
Great need, yeah. And how long have you been here?
Well, from 94. I've been here from 1994. Because when I was at Kabbalah, I left Kabbalah, I was asked and then I came to Kalanga in 91. So I just spent 3 years at Kalanga. Then by then Perry was here. So I was coming here for part-time. So he asked to come and help. So, but when he saw my work, then he went to the National Church and then he said that he needs me here. So I came here in 1994.
Been here ever since. Except during the war, did you have to leave during the war?
Yes, during the war, because it was in 1997 that these buildings were burnt down. 1997. So we had to leave for McKinney, from McKinney to Freetown.
So there was no teaching for a year or so?
No, well, we moved the school to McKinney. When this place was burnt down in 1997, so we moved the school to McKinney at Conference Center. So there we were having classes. Then after 1998, when they attacked McKinney, so we moved the school down to Freetown. So there classes were going on.
And you currently have 17 pastors with their wives and children?
Yeah.
And five students rather, and
yeah,
5 single men that are studying?
Yeah.
I see.
In 1999, the rebels took control of the township, including the hospital quarters where they stayed, and they have forced families to leave. Of course, drugs were looted, medical equipment were looted, and even the hospital beds, some were used as rags to dry meat, and the mattresses were not spared. The theater, the equipment, every door was opened and broken into. And so there's a whole lot of work needs to be done, especially in terms of rehabilitating and refurbishing the hospital. We are able to buy drugs in the local pharmacies, private pharmacies, not government pharmacies. Well, we thank God because we have started receiving funds from the indigent fund to pay for drugs and to pay for services. Those who cannot afford, these funds are used to pay their bills.
This is the nursing station. Of course, here we keep our patients' records on this file. Here we find out all the patients that are admitted into the hospital. They have their files are in this handle. So inside here we have our inpatient drug supplies. So most of these stores are spoiled. This worker doesn't work again. They were all spoiled when they got the skin and they just everything was just destroyed, and they took along the ones that were able. Like some of this furniture were left because they weren't easy to be removed. So we can move to the other parts.
Of course, the hospital started in June 2002 after the National Church gave us a loan of 10 million loans, which is about $5,000 equivalent. It is this fund that we are using up to date to pay staff, to buy more drugs and to do some other overhead expenditures.
Three guys. Yeah, now five people.
Of course, our electricity and water supply system were brought down completely. As of now, we don't have no electricity except for one small generator that the Catholic priest has allowed us to use to do our surgeries in the theater.
Whether it's a good use again.
Safe for now. Oh, is it electric, huh? 220. Oh, yeah. You don't have 220, do you? No. Yeah. Huh.
Again, that small, that generator is only able to pump this light. It's only able to light this one. It's not the power that it sends cannot. So when you put on this one, then the generator cuts down. So you have to just use this light when we are doing surgeries here. And,
to protect where the missionaries in Medina, whether the Chichui for the surgery, but for that, plenty of people then for that at that time. So when we opened the hospital, June the 6th, 1999, year 2000, I do about 565 operations inside the hospital, and about 36 at Medina Tonko. And the jet came, bomb, and fed back 18 miles from there, and I did another 18 surgeries here. So terrible, thank you for really what they allowed me for this work also. And to that, but people then for that.
I hope in the not too far distance, well, I hope that things will be better.